Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Alright, so today, October 20, year 2025, I welcome you to another exciting edition from the newspaper, streaming live from the premises of the DS's Hotel, Akwete, Ibadan. Good morning to you all listening to MFM 97.3, where we set the agenda and project the truth. And don't forget you can watch us live on Facebook at MFM 97.3, and as you're watching us, do well to like, comment, and share. Remember, don't forget this program is in form of 3 segments. The first segment is a weather forecast report of 3 major cities in Nigeria: the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, the commercial city of Lagos, and the vibrant city of Ibadan, where we are streaming live from. Well, the second segment on the show is the headlines make a round of Nigerian newspaper, and as usual, it's been 4 newspapers to you every morning: the Punch newspaper, the Vanguard newspaper, the Guardian newspaper, and Nigerian Tribune. Where the last segment of the show is the details to the headlines. My name is SHAQEEROH AKINYEMI.
Audio Jungle.
Alright, so moving on to the first segment on the show, which is the weather forecast report. And the first city I'm bringing on is the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. At 10 a.m. in Abuja this morning, it's mostly cloudy with 25 degrees Celsius. At 11 a.m. it's intermittent clouds with 26 degrees Celsius. And at 12 p.m. it's partly sunny with 27 degrees Celsius. At 1 p.m. it's partly sunny with 28 degrees Celsius. And at 2 p.m. it's partly sunny with 28 degrees Celsius. At 3 p.m. it's partly sunny with 29 degrees Celsius. And at 4 p.m. it's intermittent clouds with 28 degrees Celsius. At 5 p.m. it's partly sunny with 27 degrees Celsius, and at 6 p.m. it's mostly sunny with 26 degrees Celsius. At 7 p.m. it's mostly clear with 24 degrees Celsius, and at 8 p.m. it's clear with 28 degrees Celsius. At 9 p.m. it's clear with 22 degrees Celsius, and at 10 p.m. it's clear with 22 degrees Celsius. Up until 11 p.m. it's clear with 21 degrees Celsius.
Audio Jungle.
In the commercial city of Lagos this morning, it's intermittent clouds with 28 degrees Celsius. At 11 a.m. it's mostly cloudy with 29 degrees Celsius, and at 12 p.m. it's rain with 30 degrees Celsius. At 1 p.m. it's partly sunny with 30 degrees Celsius, and at 2 p.m. it's partly sunny with 31 degrees Celsius. At 3 p.m. it's partly sunny with 30 degrees Celsius, and at 4 p.m. it's partly sunny with 30 degrees Celsius. At 5 p.m. it's partly sunny with 29 degrees Celsius, and at 6 p.m. it's mostly sunny with 29 degrees Celsius. At 1 p.m. it's mostly clear with 28 degrees Celsius, and at 10 p.m. it's mostly clear with 28 degrees Celsius. At 11 p.m. it's mostly clear with 26 degrees Celsius.
Audio Jungle.
Alright, so moving on to the last. At 10 a.m. in the vibrant city of Ibadan this morning is 28 degrees Celsius. At 11 a.m. is mostly cloudy with 29 degrees Celsius. At 12 p.m. is mostly cloudy with 31 degrees Celsius, and at 1 p.m. is mostly cloudy with 32 degrees Celsius. At 2 p.m. is mostly cloudy with 33 degrees Celsius, and at 3 p.m. is rain with 32 degrees Celsius. At 4 p.m. is mostly cloudy with 32 degrees Celsius, and at 5 p.m. is mostly cloudy with 30 degrees Celsius. At 6 p.m. is mostly cloudy with 29 degrees Celsius, and at 7 p.m. is partly cloudy with 27 degrees Celsius. At 8 p.m. is partly cloudy with 26 degrees Celsius, and at 9 p.m. is mostly clear with 25 degrees Celsius. At 10 p.m. is mostly clear with 24 degrees Celsius, and at 11 p.m. is mostly clear with 24 degrees Celsius.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Alright, so moving on to the second segment, which is the headlines make a round of the Nigerian newspaper. And the first story I'm bringing on is the Punch newspaper. The latest story on the Punch newspaper this morning says, Free Nnamdi Kanu. Protesters devise security warnings, votes Villa March, and page 2 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
And there's one right out to that story that says, opposition parties back protest, 115 lawyers, medics to join rally today, Kanu's legal team fractured, and page 2 has the detail to that story. Federal government backs DHQ as court promotes Park's political first term, and page 12 has the detail to that story. PDP convention faces fresh setback over Hale's signature forgery, and page 9 has the detail to that story. Another story on the Punch newspaper says, Osinbajo leads ECOWAS team to monitor Cote d'Ivoire pool, and page 9 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
Still on the Punch newspaper, another story says, selling to grill Neka local airline on safety branches, and page 26 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
Government shows butcher deaths in Lagos Barracks Market, and page 4 and 5 has the analysis to that story.
Audio Jungle.
And the last story on the Punch newspaper says, Tinubu hails ex-Punch MD Osinobi at 70, and page 12 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Alright, so moving on to the second newspaper, which is the Vanguard newspaper. Another story on the Vanguard newspaper says, Sovereign urges police to protect protesters, and page 9 has the details of that story.
Audio Jungle.
And there are two riders to that story. Stay off Aso Rock, NAS police one. And the last rider says, Federal government declares prisons, red zones, and page 9 has the detail to that stories.
Audio Jungle.
Nigeria losing young people to suicide, advocates once, and page 8 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Another story on the Vanguard newspaper says, Regina battling drugs, alcohol addictions, needs rehabilitation, says Ned Nwoko, and page 12 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
And there is one rider to that story that says, I can't stand the domestic violence, says Regina, and page 12 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Nigeria spends 3.58 trillion naira on raw materials imports in first half 2025, and page 21 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
Another story on the Vanguard newspaper says Serap to NAS accounts for missing 18.6 billion naira commission office complex, named contractors, and page 13 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
The Guardian newspaper says farmers in limbo as bureaucracy stalls 50 billion naira tractor rollout. In page 6 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
Federal government reverses policy on math as parent-teachers protest. In page 5 of the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
Another story on the Guardian newspaper says ASU confirms talk with federal government team as strike enters 17th day. In page 4 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
COP denied not enough steam rising and safety discontent stakeholders tell federal government. In page 6 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
M-Belt Forum raises alarm over renewed killings in Plateau, alleged genocides. In page 9 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
ADC says defections can save APC in 2027. In page 4 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
NAFDAC rallies manufacturers to home grow vaccine production. In page 7 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
The Guardian newspaper says Kano victim of separatist violence, others oppose planned protest. And page 8 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
Alright, so moving on to the last newspaper on the second segment, which is Nigerian Tribune. And the latest story on Nigerian Tribune this morning says Free Nnamdi Kanu protest. Police, NSG, CDC, NACO's warn Sowore and others. And page 3 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle.
On there are two riders to that story. The first rider says, "Why we are protesting," says Sowore, and the last rider says, U.S. Embassy issues security alerts. And page 3 has the detail to that story.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Nigeria's manufacturing sector still struggling despite lowering inflation. And there are two riders to that story. The first rider says 60% member in Northeast shut down operation in 2024. And the last rider says why sectors in Shinkren says man. And page 6 has the analysis to that stories. INEC greatest achievement, ceasefire, and there's one right out to that story that says, Commissions Itapa Ijebu Road, in page 23 has the details of that stories. Still on Nigerian Tribune, that story says, NDLEA intercept US, UK DRC bond, illicit drug consignment in frozen snails electric bulbs, in page 26 has the details to that story.
Audio Jungle.
Ibadan Convention, PDP crisis takes new ones as Anya report petition DSS, police INEC alleged forgery, and page 23 has the details to that story. And the next story comes from health. It says, music could help ease pain from surgery. Illness, says scientists, and page 4 has the details to that story.
Audio Jungle.
Beer sector, operators orders panic over tax stamp 16. And there's one right out to that story that says, beer price may go up, and page 5 has the details to that stories.
Audio Jungle.
Story on Nigerian Tribune says, stakeholder raised alarm as drug abuse increased among secondary school students in southwest states. And page 24 has the details of that story. Alright, so we have come to the end of the second segment. Before we divert into the last segment, let's go on a break. Stay tuned, I'll be right back.
Ni gbogbo ọ̀yà ni ó mọ̀ pera rẹ̀ lódù bó bá jẹ́ níbi tí ká bá ní ra mọ́tò láti òkè òkun tàbí ó fẹ́ ra ojúlówó mọ́tò ilé tí ó já lálòpẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ mọ́tò Onabis Automobile òní òye àkànṣí eléyìí tó kalẹ̀ sí kìlómítà 8 Old Ife Road àdójúkọ ilé ìtajà àgbàlódé Brent sọ́ọ̀mì nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn bóyá ẹ̀yin fẹ́ ra mọ́tò tàbí ẹ fẹ́ gbé mọ́tò ránṣẹ́ láti ilẹ̀ òkèrè sórílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà kódà orí ọ̀fẹ́ wà láti bá yín ṣe àmójútó láti bá yín ṣe àyẹ̀wò sí mọ́tò yín iléeṣẹ́ Onabis Automobile òun gẹ́gẹ́ ni mò ń pèrè yẹn o ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn ni 0803 371 0636 0803 371 0636 Onabis Automobile boom 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 boom.
ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ mọ́ ọgbọ́n lójoojúmọ́ nígbà gbogbo.
MFM TV oníkẹ́mọ́ gbọ́ òjò mọ́ mi àtọkùnrin wa àtobìnrin wa ẹ̀lẹ́ o gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọkùnrin wa ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ o gbogbo ẹ̀yin obìnrin wa ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ o MFM TV oníkẹ́mọ́ gbọ́ o ẹ̀yin ọkùnrin wa ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ o MFM TV oníkẹ́mọ́ gbọ́ oníkẹ́mọ́ wò lórí Instagram lórí Facebook oníkẹ́mọ́ gbọ́ òjòmọ́ mi ẹ wá lórí ìṣẹ́nu ọ̀pálábá ẹ wá wo rẹ̀ ti ṣe láwùjọ òjò gbogbo ìkànnà gbé wá bẹ̀ gbogbo eré ládùn gbogbo tó lóyin tó bá ronú tó pàrònú tì AKINYEMI TV oníkan mọ́ gbọ́ olólùfẹ́ mi ẹ̀yọ́ rẹ̀ wá ọkọ sọ fún ìyàwó rẹ̀ AKINYEMI TV oníkẹ́mọ́ gbọ́ ẹnikẹ́mọ́ gbọ́ ọjọ́gbọ́n mi AKINYEMI TV.
City of Ibadan for your next and upcoming event, whether marriage engagement, wedding reception, anniversaries, conferences, seminars, or birthday. The Ace Hotels and Conference Center is affordable and fully equipped with all imaginable ultra-modern facilities for your total convenience without headache, security, power, environment, parking space, and royal service by their staff. All roads lead to the Aces Hotel and Conference Center today at kilometer 2.5 Ijokodo Akbete Akufo Road, AKINYEMI, Ibadan. For booking and more information, call 080-8746-7420, 080-9744-1898, or 080-2869-0012. The Aces Hotels and Conference Center, where comfortability speaks in words.
So welcome back to the show. It's still from the newspaper. Don't forget you can watch us live on Facebook at MFM 97.3. And as you're watching, also well to like, comment, and share. We are now in the last segment of the show, which is the details to the headlines. And first, our bringing out this morning says, protesters devise security warnings, Vo Villa March. There may be a showdown between the security force and the Free Nnamdi Kanu non-protesters today, following plan by the organizer to march on the presidential villa to pressure the government to release from custody Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. This is even as the Federal High Court in Abuja has issued an interim order restraining the organizer from protesting near the villa, the National Assembly, and other key government institutions. Despite the judicial handle, the organizer remained defiant, vowing to stick to their original plan for peaceful organizer in the Federal Capital Territory and march to Aso Rock Villa. The director of mobilization for the Tax It's Back movement, Damilare Adenola, affirmed that the protest would go on its schedule, both in Abuja and simultaneously in southeastern states of the country. The nationwide demonstration for the immediate and unconditional release of the hyper leader was endorsed by the opposition parties. Kanu is being detained to charge of the terrorism treason in incitement, among others. The federal government alleged the advocates for Biafra independence through controversial means, including the inflammatory rhetoric on social media and Radio Biafra. IPOB was declared a terrorist organization in 2017. Kanu fled Nigeria in 2017 while bail, leading to rearrest in Kenya in 2021. His extradition from Kenya sparked controversy and legal debates. Many hold Kanu detention in the political prescription, while others see it as lawful prescription. Kanu health condition has been a point of contention, but a recent medical evaluation declared from it fits the trial. The federal government is apprehensive over the rally, particularly with the scheduled date, coinciding with the 5th anniversary of the October 2020 head-start protest that circumambulates in the alleged Lekki massacre. The plan as organizer to march on the presidential villa directly controversies an interim injunction granted by the Justice Muhammad Umar of the Federal High Court in Abuja. The other issue on Friday followed an ex parte application filed by the Nigerian Police Force on behalf of the federal government. The ruling expeditory restrained the organizer, led by the human rights activist and the former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore, from protesting in around sensitive government location. These areas include the Aso Rock Villa, the National Assembly Complex, the Force Headquarters, the Court of Appeal, Eagle Square, and Shehu Shagari Way. The order have remained ineffective pending hearing of the substantive motion scheduled for today. Council of Organizer Maxwell Opara acknowledged report to the state that the state on Sunday has been ordered by the serve on team. The maintenance that matched them on seats of government was necessary to enable citizens to communicate directly with their leaders, insisting that even the presidential villa should be a symbolic place for the free expression of grievance. He added that the organizer has noticed the policy of the protest, stressing that his clients are yet to be served by the court order. The further confirmed that the organizer has deployed a large number of lawyers on standby to assist protesters who might be arrested and or detained. Sowore disclosed to the Punch on Sunday that more than 150 lawyers, medical personnel, and journalists have been mobilized to support the nationwide protest. He added the mobilization of the rally has gained strong national traction, with activists extending the marketplace, religion central, a high-profile engagement, including meeting with the former President Goodluck Jonathan and diaspora groups. Meanwhile, the protest has revealed significant public backing, as well as the support of major opposition figures, turning the demonstration into one of the most particularly symbolic since the inception of the current administration. The nationwide march has been publicly endorsed by the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 general election, Peter Obi, but most of whom held the federal government to embrace dialogue over the continued detention of Kanu.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Other story says federal government backs DHQ as corp rumors spark political firestorms. The federal government on Sunday broke its silence over the report of alleged failed corps to trouble the administration of President Bola Tinubu. The Administrator of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in an interview with the Punch on Sunday, said the government had faith in the military and no reason to doubt the position of the defense headquarters, which on Saturday dismissed the report of the corps was fake. On Sunday, in a statement, the Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tokur Gasu, the military had denied the new report by Shahara reporters, linking the detention of 16 military officers to failed corps. The online newspaper has linked the alleged corps to the cancellation of Nigeria's 65th Independence Day by the federal government. Dismissing the report, however, in an official statement on Saturday, Goswell condemned the report, saying it was intended to cause unnecessary tension and distrust among the populace. Goswell said the cancellation of October 1st anniversary parade was purely administrative, explaining it that it was meant to allow President Tinubu to attend bilateral meetings abroad and enable the troops to sustain ongoing operation against insurgents and banditry. However, the opposition parties in the country are calling on the federal government and military authorities to come clean and ensure transparency. Speaking with the Punch on Sunday, the National Publicity Secretary of the New Nigeria People Party, Ladipo Johnson, said the crowd deserves to know the truth about the alleged cost plots and nature to charge against the detained officers. Meanwhile, the Pan-Yoruba socio-political organization, Afenifere, has warned against any attempts of truncate the Nigeria democratic process, declaring the military takeover was spell dumps of the country. The corps also reaffirmed its support for President Tinubu administration, using Nigeria to resist an unconstitutional change of government. Speaking in an interview with The Punch in Ibadan, Oyo State, Afenifere National Publicity Secretary Jare Ajayi said the military corps would set the country back by decades. Similarly, Afenifere National Organizing Secretary Abagun Kola Omololu, in a separate statement on Sunday, they condemned any plot or attempt to overturn the government, saying Nigeria's sowing democracy must not be truncated.
Audio Jungle.
Tinubu hails the ex-Punch MD Osinobi at 70. The President Bola Tinubu has congratulated the former managing director and editor-in-chief of the Punch Nigeria Limited, Sir Adamola Osinobi, on his 70th birthday. The tribute personal signed by the president on Sunday, Tinubu described Osinobi as a model of integrity, resilience, and excellence in Nigerian journalism. He said, "Tinubu's life and career exemplify hard work and dedication to democratic ideal, noting that his leadership helped shape Punch into the of Nigeria's most respected newspaper." During the Punch in 1976, Tinubu praised Tinubu's 27 years tenure at the helm of Punch Nigeria Limited, during which he steered the newspaper through a period of innovation and the challenges of military representation and closure, adding that its management left an indelible mark on Nigeria's media landscape. The president condemned Tinubu's fidelity to the techniques of the journalism profession and his effort to struggle for democracy, describing him as a mentor who guided generation for journalists on the path of principled journalism. Tinubu reaffirmed his administration for the veteran journalist's lifelong commitment to truth and national development.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Senator Guru Naka local airline of safety breaches. The Nigerian Senate has been expressed deep concern over the growing safety landscape in the country's aviation sector, citing a recent incident involving the Air Peace aircraft at the Port Harcourt International Airport. The Punch earlier reports how the Air Peace aircraft on Sunday morning of July 13th had a runaway excursion after the landing at the Port Harcourt International Airport. Following the incident, the Nigeria Safety Investigation Bureau, in its preliminary report, indicated the pilot and co-pilot for taking out drugs and alcohol. The report noted that toxicological test results conducted on the flight crew turned out positive. The test indicated the presence of alcohol in the system of the crew, while other crew members also tested positive for the active compound found in cannabis, referred to as India hemp. Meanwhile, the last Tuesday, as Ross Chamber, the lawmakers were alarmed while expressing dissatisfaction with the development, ordering an immediate thorough investigation into the matter. In another paper obtained by the Punch correspondent by the Senate Committee Chairman of Aviation, Buhari Abdul Fattah, in other motion, a sponsor stressed that no fatality was recorded from the incident, insisting that the finding exposed serious deficiencies on air infrastructure, pilot decision-making, and regulatory oversight. The Senate, however, stressed the need for immediate action, citing the importance of aviation safety to national security, economic stability, and Nigeria's aspiration to remain regional hub for air transport in Africa. In the motion, the Senate, however, held the Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development in collaboration with the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria (FAN) to swiftly implementing all safety recommendations outlined in the NSIB report. The development comes amid growing public scrutiny of Nigeria aviation safety standards following several recent incidents and near misses. Meanwhile, the Senate has condemned the NSIB for its swift release of the investigation report, describing it as a move that promotes transparency, accountability, and culture of safety in the sector.
Audio Jungle.
Osinbajo led ECOWAS teams to monitor Cote d'Ivoire poll. The former Vice President, IKINYEMI Osinbajo's son, has been appointed by the Economic Community of West African States to head its election observation mission for the upcoming presidential election in Cote d'Ivoire. According to a statement from ECOWAS, the election was scheduled to be held on October 25, 2025, while the observation mission will be deployed from October 19 to 29, 2025, in accordance with the provision of the ECOWAS Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance. The regional body said the development of the mission underscores ECOWAS' commitment to promoting peace, stability, and credible election across West Africa. The Cote d'Ivoire election comes at a critical time for the region, while several member states are preparing for key national poll aimed therefore to consolidate democratic governance.
Audio Jungle.
SHAQEEROH mobilizes supporters for free Nnamdi Kanu protest. Human rights activist and former vice president candidate Omoyele Sowore, has called Nigerians to join nationwide protest demanding release of detained indigenous people of Biafra. Leader Nnamdi Kanu, despite court ordering the demonstrating around the key governance area in Abuja. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, on Monday morning, Sowore called on citizens to take to the streets in peaceful protest. Sowore announced the protesters with coverage in front of the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja at 7 a.m., urging them to come ready, come peaceful, come detained. However, the planned march comes in the defiance of the interim injunction issued by the Justice Muhammad Omar of the Federal High Court in Abuja, which retains Sowore and other organizers of the protesting in or around sensitive government areas, including the Presidential Villas, National Assembly Complex, First Headquarters, Court of Appeal, Eagle Square, and SHAQEEROH Way. Reacting to the report, ordered on Saturday, Sowore questioned its legitimate side that preserved double standards for the law enforcement. The activists disclosed that his legal team comprised 115 lawyers would challenge the alleged court order, and order formally served on Monday.
Audio Jungle.
News story on its show this morning says Ned Nwoko breaks silence, braves regional outbursts on drug abuse. Senator Ned Nwoko has broken silence following a viral video showing his wife, actress Regina Daniel, in a district describing her recent action as a drug-influenced and unprovoked carnage. In a lengthy post and a short video shared on his Instagram handle, Prince Nwoko on Sunday, Nwoko claimed the actress was battling with drugs and alcohol abuse, which he said was not a root of the crisis rocking their marriage. The senator highlighted that Regina went on a violent rampage at their home in his absence, attacking staff and destroying properties. Senator Ned Nwoko has broken his silence following a viral video showing his wife, actress Regina Daniel, in distress, describing her recent action as a drug-influenced and unprovoked carnage. In a lengthy post and a short video shared on his Instagram handle, the senator highlighted that Regina went on a violent rampage in their home and absence, attacking
Audio Jungle.
Before moving on, let's go on a short break. Stay tuned, I'll be right back.
ọ̀tọ̀ ni gbogbo ọ̀yà ni ó mọ̀ pera rẹ̀ lódù bó bá jẹ́ níbi tí kábánira mọ́tò láti òkè òkun tàbí ó fẹ́ ra ojúlówó mọ́tò ilé tí ó já lálòpẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ mọ́tò Onabis Automobile òní òye àkànṣí eléyìí tó kalẹ̀ sí kìlómítà 8 Old Ife Road àdójúkọ ilé ìtajà àgbàlódé Brent sọ́ọ̀mì nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn bóyá ẹ̀yin fẹ́ ra mọ́tò tàbí ẹ fẹ́ gbé mọ́tò ránṣẹ́ láti ilẹ̀ òkèrè sórílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà kódà oore ọ̀fẹ́ wà láti bá yín ṣe àmójútó láti bá yín ṣe àyẹ̀wò sí mọ́tò yín. iléeṣẹ́ Onabis Automobile òun gẹ́gẹ́ ni mò ń pè níyẹn o. ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn ni 0803 371 0636 0803 371 0636. Onabis Automobile. Boom, 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 boom.
The Aces Hotels and Conference Center is one and only event place with a clear difference and tasteful excellence here in the ancient city of Ibadan. For your next and upcoming event, whether marriage engagement, wedding reception, anniversaries, conferences, seminars or birthday, the Aces Hotels and Conference Center is affordable and fully equipped with all imaginable ultra-modern facilities for your total convenience without headache, security, power, environment, parking space, and royal service by their staff. All roads lead to the Aces Hotel and Conference Center today at number 2.5 Ijokodo Akbete Akufo Road, Akere, Ibadan. For booking and more information, call 080-8746-7420, 080-9744-1898, or 080-2869-0012. The Aces Hotels and Conference Center, where comfortability speaks than words.
So welcome back to the show. It's still from the newspaper. We are now in the last segment of From the Newspaper. Don't forget you can watch us live on Facebook at MFM 97.3. And as you're watching us, do well to like, comment, and share.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Alright, so we have come to the end of From the Newspaper this morning. Thank you for staying on and thank you for tuning in. My name is SHAQEEROH AKINYEMI. Have a good day ahead.